we are getting ready to head out for 3 nights and 4 days of camping / backpacking on Santa Rosa Island in Channel Islands National Park. We're gonna take a boat to the island, hike about 1.5 miles to camp, set up camp, and then potentially hike close to 75 miles in 4 days.
You told me 50.
No, 50 new miles.
Oh.
So we are going to try to figure out what food we need to bring with us to a completely deserted island that we cannot leave early. We have 4 days that we are stuck there. So let's see what we bought at the grocery store. Spoiler alert, it's a lot of junk food. Good morning. We are at the Ventura Harbor parking area, scrambling because it turns out I didn't fully charge this battery as much as I should have yesterday after shooting our time lapse. Oops. Getting ready to check in for a 3-night, 4-day camping / backpacking trip in Channel Islands National Park. We are heading to a new island for us and gonna try to hike as many of the miles there as we can. We will definitely not finish. There's a lot of trail out there, so we're just gonna do what we can.
Morning.
Morning. We made it to Santa Rosa. It was a bit of an adventurous boat ride out here. Our boat was effectively commandeered by sea creatures. The threesome, at least, of humpback whales that decided they wanted to check us out. And so they were circling our boat for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
When they get really close, by law, the boat has to not move their motors. So we got to watch humpback whales coming up and down all around our boat for a good long time. It was really adventurous. So now we're here. We got a 1.5 mile hike. They're full bags out to the campground. And then we're gonna get the show on the road. We're making our way into Water Canyon. You can see back here, each campsite is set up right at its own little hut. That is for wind protection. We are at hut number 4. All right, camp is made and we are headed out, hoping to make it to East End today. Got a later start than we wanted thanks to our whale adventure, but it's an absolutely gorgeous day out here. What was that?
It really is.
Yeah. You can see all these poppies lining the trails.
So Michelle is currently crossing a marsh, and it's bad. It's knee deep. We were not expecting water at all on this island. They said it was a dry island. But here you go. I'm giving her a moment to do her thing, and then I'm gonna go. Man. Ooh. We weren't supposed to get this wet this early.
Well, we made it out to East End Point, where we enjoyed a quick snack break. 7 miles. Now we got to turn around and get 7 miles back. It's 30 right now. So we're definitely going to be pushing our luck, but you crossed this point. But we saw sea lions or seals. We're not sure which they are. And good island fun.
And we're back. Mucky, mucky. Okay, I gotta put this away for my safety. Oh my goodness, the wind has been brutal. We're super curious what our campsite looks like. The views have gotten really good as we've turned around and we're walking back to see this aqua turquoise colored water everywhere. But it's about 6:15 and we've hiked 12 miles, it's 150, and we have about 2 miles left. Good morning from the Water Canyon Campground Trail Access. We are headed out for day 2 after a restless night of sleep with lots of pounding in the wind. We got back to our campsite yesterday afternoon and our tent was flattened. The wind had just demolished it. Poles were on the side of the ground and there were some rips and tears in the material of the tent. Once we were able to get our bearings about us, we reassembled the tent, positioned it further back inside the wind block, even though that meant a rather sloped surface. We were actually able to patch the rips in the tent with some seam tape that we had with us in our first aid kit. And that actually seemed to have worked. It held really well overnight, despite being really windy. So it was just a rough night's sleep because the wind was pretty incessant and it's just kind of hard to like sleep when you have sudden noises all around you. So we slept in a little bit later than intended today as the winds calmed and we wanted a break. And now we're headed out. Here, now that we've gotten up on the cliff a bit, the views in this park are just so stunning. All right, we are around mile 5 of our hike and coming into a canyon area off of a very windy summit. Perfect timing because we spied a picnic table down there and we are ready for a snack break. We think this might be part of the Lobos Canyon area, which is a really popular day hike destination from our campground. we are going to save that one for another time because it is day hikeable. We are at mile 11 for the day, and our plans about what we're going to hike have just kept changing all throughout the day. I think we're pretty much stuck on this path now until we get back. We decided to just turn this into a complete reconnaissance mission to get as much information about the trails as we could, which meant not doing a bunch of spur trails, but instead doing a giant loop. So we've been hiking out one road. We passed the trails for Lobo Canyon, Rockaway Point, and Soledad Canyon, and now we are turning onto another road. I think it's Signal Road, and this is going to connect us back over to the other side of the island. So it's really given us a chance to see like the conditions, whether or not things are trails. Sadly, they mostly are. We've gotten a sense of water crossings. Sadly, there are water crossings. But we now know a lot more about what to expect out here for the next time. Plus, we're going to get 21 new miles today. So, pretty good deal. We are at the highest point of the hike today, just below the highest point of the island. Seems to be unnamed. That seems unlikely. If it is named, we'll drop it below. It's really windy there. Whew, coming around this corner is so nice. The wind is like instant brain freeze. We still have about 6 miles to go to get back to camp, so we're gonna hike another little bit and then stop, take a snack break, get fueled up, and then just put our heads down and keep going. Although it's so beautiful, it's hard not to. Today, that's the way to Black Mountain. Were we on Black Mountain? I don't think so. All the other ones. And this is the way to camp. Hopefully less than a mile to go. Good morning, day 3 on Santa Rosa Island. What time is it?
It is 7:44.
All right, 7:44.
It's an incredibly late start.
Yeah, we slept in a bit today after yesterday's long day. A little bit better second night in our tent. A lot of wind still, maybe even worse than the first night, but we were a little bit more prepared for it. Definitely let ourselves sleep in this morning to make up for the big miles yesterday. And of course today we're probably gonna end up doing like 18. But say la vie.
La vie.
The plan is to hike back out to Lobo Canyon, but the slightly flatter way out there, and then head out to Carrington Point after that, and then come back to camp, eat a lot of food, go back to bed.
And pack up tomorrow.
Actually, we might start packing tonight.
Yeah, we probably should.
All right, see you later. Okay, we are hiking back into the Lobo Canyon area. There's a really nice picnic spot here, so we're gonna stop and eat a little bit of food before we actually head into Lobo Canyon this time. The wildflowers in this area are just gorgeous. So cool. This is awesome. I know. What was that? All right, we are about half a mile into Lobo Canyon, and a few things. 1, super cool walls. 2, super cool flora. Wildflowers are crazy in here this time of year. And 3, banana slugs everywhere. And this is the end of Lobo Canyon, where the canyon meets the ocean. Well, good news, bad news. Bad news is we got to the end of Lobo Canyon and found out that there's an extra trail out here that we thought was not a trail. The good news is it looks like this. This is amazing! Oh, well, we made it up from Lobo Canyon. We have made our way back to the Carrington Point Trail. This is a 2.1 mile stretch out into the island, and we have views, the ocean, and then back to where we were. So you think maybe we were on that open bare spot? See how it's like...
Yeah. That big wall
Yeah.
at the far end. That
we were in,
shadow,
that was the end of Cow
That was
Creek.
the end of Cow Creek,
Yeah.
is my bet.
Cool.
Yeah.
We made it to Carrington Point.
And there's a ton of pelicans over our heads. Wow.
All right, we are getting ready to go up this here hill. It's really probably not that bad, but oh boy.
It was pretty bad. Coming down it was pretty bad.
Coming down it was pretty bad. Whew, and that's going to be just about a wrap on day 3. We have a 1.5 mile walk back to our campground. Then we will do all the night things: eat, clean up, sleep. We've been really lucky today. The wind has died down a lot. It's still breezy, but so much better than yesterday. So we're really hoping that it feels better at camp as well. Kelly has decided that he would be okay with a permanent job here.
What?
You'd be okay with a permanent job here.
I would. I would not be upset.
He would not be upset if he was banished to this desert island. Deserted island. Not really a desert. Since the wind is calm enough to sort of pick up my voice down here and we're not going absolutely crazy trying to take care of our campsite, I wanted to give you a little tour. So there's the Pacific Ocean. The mountains on the other side of it are Santa Cruz Island. That's also an island in Channel Islands National Park. And then each of the campsites here come with these 3-sided shelters that are sort of like a sectagon? 6-sided, it's like half of a 6-sided building. Back there are bathrooms that have running water and flush toilets. It's a very rare thing on an island like this. And then this is what the inside of our campsite looks like. So the wind shelter protects from the worst of the wind. Ours is kind of crooked, which is very not ideal. Kelly's been rolling off of his sleeping pad every night this trip. We had originally set our tent up a little bit out here in the flatter spot where it was partially flat and partially in the wind shade, and we learned quickly that that is not enough because the wind out here is real. And so we had to move the tent inside the shelter. A couple nice things we've been able to do are tie the tent to some posts. We realized we have one more rope, and so we're going to tie over here tonight. But it's a little bit too late because the wind is the calmest tonight that it's ever been for us. But yeah, that's our view. Oh, also we have a picnic table, which is nice. Would be great if it could be fully in the shade, or the wind protection, but you can't really do that and have your tent in here. And then we have this fox box. So this closes up and it keeps foxes and ravens out of our food and other attractive items. So that's what camping looks like on Santa Rosa Island. You need my help?
Nope.
Good morning from day 4 on Santa Rosa Island. We had a very different night last night. so calm. We could hear the ocean. The ocean's like half a mile away. So it was a pretty crazy difference. We're out this morning and it was really calm down below, but as we've gotten up higher, wind is starting to pick up. I think you can still hear me. We are on Wreck Road, and I'm gonna come around this bush, give you a view of some of the ridge line that we hiked on day 2. So all out here, over there, you can see that road winding up that mountain. We hiked that whole ridge. That was when it was so super windy that we could barely stand up straight on day 2. It's much more pleasant than that right now. But it's pretty cool to see so many different angles of the island. It has been a really amazing 4 days out here. I think we're gonna clock in close to 63 miles of hiking after landing at the boat ramp at 1 p.m. on Friday afternoon. We'll probably board the boat around 2 p.m. today on Monday. So 65 miles in about 73 hours. We have been just cranking it to try to understand how this island works and what it's going to take for us to finish it. It's definitely going to be a lot. There's a ton of stuff on the backside of the island that we can maybe reach in a day hike, but we're talking like 24, 26 mile days. One of the big challenges of this park is that there's not really water in many places. And so, one, we need to figure out if that's true, like where there might be some secret sources. And then, 2, we plan to carry a lot with us when we are out. So backpacking is just really challenging. We have really appreciated how special it is that this island is protected. Campsites and campground, because they're managed by federal government, are only $15 a night. The boat ride out here is not that cheap because it's run through a private concessionaire. That's probably an appropriate decision. It'd be a lot for NPS to manage that much transportation and risk. No way this island would be so accessible if it had been taken over and turned into like a resort or a spot. And if it were owned by private sources, we wouldn't be able to visit it at all, most likely. So we've been spending a lot of time on this trip being thankful for our park service that puts lands and space like this so close to the fingertips of so many Americans.
Whoa, that, yeah. Okay, I need the camera for that.
Look at the size of these pine cones. It's heavy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Feel it.
It is heavy. Let me just...
All right, back to nature. Did it.
This is amazing!